Hey everyone, it's Mr. Montgomery again, and today we're on Lesson 8 in Unit 10, and make sure you have your Robot Turtle book open to page 429. This is the page that we are starting on today, so if you're not on this page, pause the video, hit that space bar, make sure that your Robot Turtle book is open to page 429, and then we're going to get started. But if you have the video still rolling, I am going to guess you already have that workbook page open and you're ready to get going. So we're going to read this little story problem and we're going to circle everything that's important to make sure we know what exactly is going on. A puzzle has 59 green pieces. Well, that's pretty important. So I'm going to circle 59 and 25 orange pieces. That's also important. And then they're saying solve 59 plus 25 to find out how many pieces in all. So in all, of course, means to add. And they already told us that we're going to add it because they wrote it out for us. So let's zoom in a little bit here. And the cool thing about today is you can use any method you want that we've learned that is easiest for you. Now, when it comes to making or adding two-digit numbers and making new sets of tens and carrying over, right? So remember, carrying over is when we have too many ones and we have to make a new 10 out of it, and then that goes into our tens place. So the one way we learned to do this was to break apart the ones and tens. Okay, so if we have 59 plus 25. Now I like to write this out again separately, nice and big, so I can keep track of everything I do. So remember, if we are going to pull apart our tens and ones and separate them, well, first we can do our tens. It doesn't really matter which order you want to do this in when you're pulling apart the numbers, as long as you remember that when you pull them apart. So for 5 tens, that's just 50. And 2 tens, that would be plus 20. Remember, you're only talking about the tens for this one. And then you can add them together. That would be, what is 5 plus 2? Let's just add the tens together. What is 5 plus 2? 5 plus 2 is 7. And then we just bring that 0 on over. Right? So we added our tens. Next, we are going to bring our ones down into a different number sentence. So we can have 9 plus, what's our other ones place? You know what? Let me highlight them a little bit better. So I'll put the ones in red. And I'll make sure I put the tens in. Tens will be in blue. Okay, so what we already have our 9. What is our other ones place number? It's 5, because we already pulled the 9 from 59. Now we need the 5 from 25. And now we just add 9 plus 5. And 9 plus 5 is, what's 9 plus 5? It's 14. Okay? And then after we get these two answers, then we add together this big total. And if you're like me, you like to stack your numbers. And it doesn't matter which order you want to stack them. You can put the 14 on top first if you want, or the 70 on top. Okay, and then you just add the column. 4 plus 0 is 4. And 1 plus 7 is 8. And you got your answer. Now I know that doing all of this math here can be a little confusing sometimes for some friends. So after I was talking to some friends in the class, we came up with a way that we all think is a little bit easier. And we get to draw some pictures. And who doesn't like drawing pictures? Okay, so what we like to do for this is, again, I'm going to highlight the 10s in blue. I'm going to put the 1s in red. Okay? And what we like to do is, first we're going to draw out all of our 10s. Okay? And we'll do that with using our 10 sticks that we draw. So how many 10s are in 59? Well, we have a 5 in the tens place, so that means we're going to have 5 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we look at our next number. How many 10s are in 25? Well, there's a 2. So we can just draw 2 more 10s. 1, 2. Now we are already done half of the work. Believe it or not, we have done half the work already. Okay, so we did our 10s. Now we just got to do our 1s. So how many 1s are there in 59? Well, there's a 9 in the 1s place, right? So, because the 10s place is first, the 1s place is second. So we're going to draw 9 circles. Because remember, the circles are our 1s. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, I like to make sure I always complete rows of 5. That way it kind of looks like a 10 frame, and it's easier to see if you have a 10. That's just me. If you like making whole rows of 10s, that's fine too, or however you like to do it, whatever's easier for you. Okay, so we drew our 9 1s. Now how many 1s are there in 25? Well, there's a 5 in the 1s place. So we're going to draw 5 1s. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I just drew 5 more 1s. So I drew the 9, and then I drew 5 more. Do we have enough to make another 10 out of all these 1s? Well, let's find out. So all we're going to do is just count 10 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, I counted to 10, so I stop. And this is going to be another 10. Now, what I have mentioned to some friends in the class that I think is a great idea is if you want to draw out your whole new set of 10s that you have here, because in math, when you get older, you're actually going to be writing down each single step that you do in math. So it's actually not a bad idea to redraw everything. So I can make a little squiggly line there, right? Okay, now just count up all your 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because remember, this whole blob of 1s makes 10 now. So we can draw our 8 10s that we now have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And how many 1s do we have left over that were not circled? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we just redraw those. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, one way you can come up with your answer after you are done your entire picture now, guess what? Watch how easy this is. So if we count all of our 10s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we have 8 10s, so we put an 8 in the 10s place. Then how many 1s do we have left over? We have 4 1s. So 4 goes in the 1s place. Or if you want to, and you like counting by 10s, and then continuing counting on by 1s, you can do that also. So you can get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. Either way, you get the same answer. But if you like just counting each side at a time, okay, because we have 8 here, we have 4 here, you smush them together, they make 84. That's it. That's all there is to it. So use whatever method works best for you. You can do the the different addition sentences that we did at the beginning, or you can make the picture. Some friends in the class think that the picture is a little bit easier. Or if you can do this with mental math, that's awesome too. Do what works best for you, okay? So let's go to the next page and we'll do a couple practice problems together. All right, so now we are on page 430. Now, I know in your book you see this picture a lot where they make each number separately and then they want you to connect all the dots together to make a 10. To me, that just looks like a headache. I mean, goodness. I think it might actually be a little bit easier if we just draw all the 10s, right? Like we did before, and then draw all the ones separately, because then you have them all grouped together. Personally, I think that's a little bit easier the way we just did it. So I'm actually just going to solve these using that method, okay? If a different method works best for you, of course, go ahead and use it. And just like what we always do, I'm going to just erase this stuff so we can do the work together. Now, with any extra space you have in your book, you can go ahead and do this work along with me. We're just going to walk through these steps one more time for practice, and then you're going to do number 2 completely on your own. Okay? So let's go ahead and zoom in right here. All right. So again, I like to color code these things and make the 10s blue. I'm going to underline the 10s. Just remember when we have a 2-digit number, the 10s is always first. So if I had a little place value chart like this, that's what this is called. It's called a place value chart. We have our 10s and then our 1s. And if you were to write down either one of these numbers, right? If we're going let's do 37 for example. If you write down number 37, the 3 comes first, so it goes in the tens place. The 7 is last, so it goes in the ones place. Same thing with 24. The 2 comes first, so it's in the tens place. The 4 is last, so it's in the ones place. All right? Now, if we are going to draw these things out, let me underline our ones place real quick. So if we're going to draw these out, like we did before, I like to make sure we do our 10s first. So how many 10s are there in 37? Well, there is a 3 in the tens place, so we make 3 lines. And then how many 10s are there in 24? There's 2. So I make 2 more lines. 1, 2. All right, and then we just do the same thing for our 1s. How many 1s are there in 37? There's 7, so let's make 7 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then how many 1s are there in 24? Well, there's 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? Now let's double check our dots to see if we can make a 10. So I like to tap them as I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I stop because I counted to 10, and I circle all the ones that I tap. And now I made myself a new 10. And if you want to redraw your all your work, that is fine. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we have 6 10s. So let's draw that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many ones were left over that were not circled? Well, we just have 1. So then we can just see or count. You just count how many 10s you have. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 10s. How many 1s? We have 1, 1. You smush them together. That's how they got the answer 61. Okay? So I'm hoping that this method works very easy for you. I hope that it just kind of lays everything out. If you have a different method that works best for you, please keep using it. All right, so go ahead and try number 2 on your own. So you're working with the numbers 48 and 10. Okay, if you are not done yet, please do me a favor, pause the video, take your time with this. But if you are done, well, let's go over this one together. Okay, so like we did before, how many 10s do we have in 48? Well, there is a 4 in the tens place right there. So I'm going to make 4 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then how many 10s are there in the number 10? What number's in the tens place? Just 1. So I'm going to add 1 more. Boom. All right, now let's do our ones place numbers. How many how many 1s are there in 48? Well, you have an 8 in the ones place, so we make 8 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then how many 1s are there in 10? In the number 10, how many 1s are there? There's none because there is a 0. So we can't draw anything more, and we're all done. We finished our work already. So now let's just see how many 10s we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 10s. How many 1s do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 1s. You smush them together, and you get the number 58. That's it. That was it. Right? Easy peasy. Okay, you know what? Let's just do one more together on the next page, okay? Just do one more together. Let's do number 3. All right, so here is number 3 on page 431. It says 27 plus 9. Okay, I'm actually really happy that that's what the problem is. It's a little different from the ones that we just did. So I will give you guys a few moments and try this one on your own. 27 plus 9. Okay, now if you're not done, hit the spacebar, pause the video, take your time with this. Really try this one on your own. If you are all done and you're just a speedy mathematician, let's go over it. So, like I always do, I like to color code my 10s in ones place. Put my 10s in blue. Put my 1s in red. And remember, if there is a number all by itself, that is a ones number. So, again, if you have this 10s and 1s chart, T for 10s, O for 1s, 27, there's the first number is a 2, so it goes in the tens place. The second number is a 7, so it goes in the ones place. But for the number 9, it's by itself. So it doesn't have any 10s. There is a 0 for the 10s. Doesn't have any. And then it has 9 1s. Remember, when there's a number all by itself, it is a ones number. So let's go ahead and draw out this picture to check your work. Let's see if you have the same answer that I have. So for number 27, how many 10s are there? Well, there's a 2 in the tens place, so we draw 2 10 sticks, right? And how many 1s are there in the number 27? Well, there's 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then how many 1s are there in the number 9? Well, it's all by itself, so we know it's a 1's number, so we draw 9 circles. So we're going to draw 9 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now let's see if we can make any 10s out of these dots. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I counted to 10, so I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to circle all of these circles that I counted, because now this makes a whole nother 10. So if you want to redraw this, you can. All right? And we definitely do not have enough 1s down here to make another 10. So we had 1, 2, now we have 3 10s. So 1, 2, 3. And then how many are left over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So how many 10s do we have now? Well, we have 3 10s. Then how many 1s? We have 6 1s. Smush them together and you get the number 36. That is our answer. Now, if you're looking at this first picture and you just understand that this giant bunch of dots makes a 10, then of course you don't have to redraw the 10 sticks and the 1's dots if you don't need to, okay? But I know some friends, it definitely helps to see this final picture, okay? So if you don't need to do this last step, of course you don't have to, but if it helps, then absolutely do it. Do what works best for you, okay? So if you're not in my class, please tell your teacher that the video is all done and ask him or her what they would like you to do next. But if you are in my class, well, let's do our independent assignment. All right, friends, so for your independent work, we click on our man in the blue box, go to classwork, and you will see it says 10-8 quick check. That is your first assignment. If you finish that and you still have time left over, go to the extra practice and try to get 100% on that. All right? And that's it. So I'm hoping that this video helped. If you're having trouble, if you have any questions, let me know. If you're a little confused, you can always jump back over to the Google Meet, and we're probably still going over a couple things, and maybe just hearing it again might help you understand it a little bit better. Okay? But that's it. I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you have a great day.